Wait,
Pearl, how delusional is Emily?
Oh, she's super delusional. I mean, I just think, yeah.
What makes her delusional? Because she's a sweet girl, but what makes her...
She's very sweet, but it's.
Oh, you don't know me.
It's unfortunate because
up.
I mean you have a lot of things going for you, but because you're on OnlyFans, like you're going to be ruled out for most of the guys you want. And I'd say that in itself is delusional.
Okay.
It's unfortunate because without it, like, you probably would be a contender for a lot of the guys you want.
I have a question. Do you think somebody who maybe they did do OnlyFans, maybe they were in a position in their life where that was their choice, do you think a woman who has done OnlyFans can be turned, and I know the comments are going to go crazy, but do you think that it's possible for those women to turn into, like, committed wives? Here's my argument. Saint Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, okay? And she ended up a saint. So would you say that people do have the ability to make that decision and commit to it, even if they do have more of a promiscuous past?
I mean, unicorns exist, but they're still unicorns. I actually asked my dad this question. I had a boyfriend that my dad wasn't the biggest fan of. And I was like, Dad, do guys change? Like, do people change? And he looked at me and said, yes. They get worse over time.
Not what you expected.
And he said, any negative trait you see now will probably be worse in 10 years, so choose carefully.
That is true.
I broke up with him.
She said that. He said no.
So, can it happen? Sure, but like, internal change is hard work. Like, it's if you really actually change something about yourself, it's hard. You can't run from yourself.
Yes.
So, are there unicorns? Yeah, but are most guys going to stick around to find out? Probably not.
But if they were like a retired OnlyFans person, and they were like, I don't want to...
I would say better odds.
Okay.
I would say you have better odds if you pick someone, but is it probable?
Right. I understand. Yeah.
And by the way, just to be clear, so for our people in the audience, unicorns actually don't exist.
Yeah, I was going to say. I thought it was just a horse.
No, that's just a horse with a cone on its head.
Look at it. It was an expression. An expression.
See it.
Just wearing like a birthday hat. Okay. Well, since you brought it up, Pearl, what would you say to one of your brothers? You've got multiple brothers, or even a guy best friend
5
who was going to marry an OnlyFans girl or some sort of sex worker, whether it's stripper.
Is she retired or is she
She's currently or may retire when she gets married. What would you say to your brother?
That and or may though.
And I try not to be disrespectful because you guys are here, but it's
be disrespectful.
Sorry,
yeah, totally fine. Say how you feel.
But it's just like, I mean, I would say run. I mean, it's. What are your future kids gonna think? And like, and that shows that she's putting herself before you, because like, you want to have a family someday, you want to have a kid someday, and you don't care because you put your body on the internet and they're gonna see that. That's the type of girl you're picking, someone that puts herself first. And I want, like, for my brother, I want someone that puts the family before themselves.
Follow up, and then I want to get your guys' perspective. So we interviewed a few months ago Allie Ray. Allie Ray, it was a former nurse. She was a nurse, ICU nurse during COVID.
Yes.
Who started doing OnlyFans. She went from making $80K a year to $80K a month. She's married with kids. I've met her husband and her kids on the podcast. Does sex with her husband on camera. What would you say to that girl who has now become officially a millionaire when she was like just an average person?
With her husband.
What would you, she does OnlyFans with her husband. What would you say to that?
Haram. I mean, again, I just think it's a degeneracy. And I just think
Google haram real quick. I'd like to see the exact definition of haram.
That was a good response.
I mean, I just think it's degeneracy. Like, again, it's like,
forbidden.
Who cares how much money? Who cares how much money you have? You can't buy class, and your whole family is going to be looked at a certain way, and that's the legacy you're leaving behind.
But if her husband is okay with it,
she married a beta. She married a beta because no alpha guy would let his bitch do that.
Wow.
No, sorry.
Interesting.
No.
Okay.
Are you gonna let your girl go on OnlyFans with you?
No, because I make enough money that I don't need you to be hoeing it up. But I'll rock around with an OnlyFans girl for a couple months. Shout out to girls I know what I'm talking about.
If you were broke, if you were making 45, at one point you were probably making average salary, right? Yeah. At that point, if you're dating a girl seriously for marriage, would you do OnlyFans with her?
Well, here's the deal. When you're broke, you're desperate. When you're desperate, you're stupid. So guys who are broke, they got no money. They are desperate. And when you're desperate, you'll do stupid things.
I mean,
you'll get involved in things that maybe you wouldn't co-sign on when you had money. Money, not only is money a tool and a medium for exchange, money
motivator.
allows you to think bigger picture. It provides clarity and allows you to do things that you wouldn't necessarily do if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Some of the beauty of money is not only, being able to live the lifestyle you want, buy what you want, but enables you to make better decisions and not being like the whims of emotions. Like I have a buddy of mine who is paycheck to paycheck, broke as fuck, and someone wanted to hire him and they say, hey, they're paying $15 an hour. He's like, no way, I would never work for that. I go, okay, don't do it. He goes, fuck it, I need the money, I'll do it. And like, that's what money does for you. It gives you better options. Anyway, you were gonna say about haram.
Well, I mean, I understand that some people use sex as a tool to get to places, but I think your character is tested when you have no money. And a lot of people will say that's hypocritical because I grew up with money, and a lot of people will say I don't understand, and fair point. But it's like, my dad was broke, and my dad, he's just a hard worker. So I don't know. I just look up to men like my dad, and I know it doesn't matter how broke we were. Like, he would never do that.
Okay.
But do you think that also comes from your family being like frugal, like you said? Because I also grew up in a family home where things were very well set. But I didn't grow up where they were like throwing me like 6 bands a month. So like for me, I hold value in like people going through that struggle, and like even though you're raised in a home where you have the resources, they're not just given to you. You know what I mean?
So what's the question?
I forgot my question.
Yeah, you're done asking questions.
Sorry.
Watch the chat. What would you say to your brothers? You have a brother. What would you also say? Let's say it's brother, best friend, whatever, who was gonna wife up an OnlyFans girl. What would you say to him?
I feel like my brother is the type.
Okay.
There are some men who don't. There's a lot of men who don't want to work hard. There are men who want to be stay-at-home dads, and they're like, my girl's making money, I'll easily do that. Majority of our friends who are in the adult space are in relationships or are married.
Okay, but this
So
comes
it's
back
like-
to. This comes
Actually,
back
you
to
know what? Can I
respect.
change one answer?
Yeah.
There's one of my brothers. I might say let it slide.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? You
He
get
might
your
need the- he
bag.
might
You
need
get
the money.
taken
Okay.
care of.
But hear me
I'm
out.
just kidding.
Hear
I'm
me
just
out.
kidding.
So you're basically saying
They're gonna
for
kill
a
me.
certain type of guy, because maybe they don't have ambition, drive, work hard enough, that they're okay being kept by a woman, specifically a sex worker, OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
So those types of men are okay. So here's my question to you. How long does that relationship last? If the girl's making well over 6 figures and homie's staying at home, my gut is telling me that homie, unless he's got a 12 fucking inch cock, that guy's getting left in the dustbin of history.
12
But
inches.
even
Yeah,
that,
I'm just saying.
Even
It
that.
Even then.
It depends
even
on
then.
how they.
Sorry,
turn
Long Don
off.
Silver.
Yeah.
Even you are getting cut off.
Yeah.
So my question is, even then, your brother's gonna have to make something for himself.
Yeah.
Because that dude who's getting taken care of by a rich OnlyFans girl, he's about to see you next Tuesday, and he's gonna be out the door in no time anyway, so he's gonna have to get a job anyway.
Yeah.
Unless he's just totally comfortable with being a kept man. Puss ass dude.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your brother right now.
We love you, David.
Got nothing to say.
Love you, buddy. No,
But-
he's a good
so,
kid.
Okay, so forget about your loser brother, no offense. What would you say to your best guy friend who actually has something going on in his life who's going to wife up an OnlyFans girl? Do you want to take this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would ask him to consider, like I would with any woman, what she stands for, what her morals are, what her intentions are with him, and really ask him, like you said, you don't want to waste anybody's time. You have to ask the important questions that you need to ask in a relationship. Does she want kids if that's what you want? Does she have the same values as him? You should really be delving into who she is as a person and how it relates to him.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. So I guess my question is this. For that guy, should he be willing to look past his girl getting naked on camera for other men?
Yes.
Should he do that? Why should he do that?
If it's the right girl.
I don't like this narrative. There's one right girl for you.
But I also don't
pick-
like the
you
narrative
pick-
that there's no value in women who do OnlyFans and they lose
Never
it for
said
doing
that.
it.
I never said no
that.
I don't
value.
think there's that.
I think it's needed in society, actually.
But in
I
terms
just-
of
I'm
a
just-
relationship, like I feel like that's where you guys are getting at.
what value would you bring to a guy by like showing your boobs on camera?
But why do you act like the only value is what they do online?
It's not
like
the
you're
only.
you're completely dismissing like who somebody is as a person. Same things Emily said.
I'll tell you
I
why.
cook, I clean,
I'll tell
I
you-
suck good dick.
But why
I
would-
listen, I take accountability. Like there's a lot of things you can value, and I make money by showing my tits online.
You guys said yourself on my show that it causes you guys trauma. So why would I tell him to pick a girl that has more trauma?
we said that
We said that it was an interesting take that you brought up the fact that it might cause trauma.
yeah, we
And
can
said that
see,
it's
and we
something
said
to
in
think
the
about.
industry that it does cause trauma for some people, but for us, we've outweighed the pros and cons, and
No, you said that some like when you do certain things, it causes trauma.
I think I said I crossed my own boundaries and decided after a while I was like, okay, that's not where I want to go. But that's just me just being honest with myself and
You know
being
what?
like, you know what, let me take a step back.
By the way, here's my message to you guys. I'm friends with you guys. I'm cool with you guys. I'll party with you guys. I'm friends with OnlyFans girls. I've hooked up with OnlyFans girls. I've got no problem with sex workers. I've partied with strippers. I've done the whole thing. All that. Love you. You guys are much needed in society. You guys quench men's thirst.
I'd
That
say they
needs to
save
be.
lives,
That needs
honestly.
to be.
Yeah.
That needs to. That you are a major, major benefit for society. There's one caveat. Most men should not be marrying these types of girls. There are exceptions.
But why?
But most men, because I'll tell you why. Men are territorial. They don't want some dude. They don't want, like, if my girl was naked, if my girl was the hottest stripper in the club, the hottest, but she was giving lap dances to everyone, there's like a side of a man that's like, yeah, I'm not good with that. Number two, men care about their image and their status in society. So when they're sitting around a circle, what does your wife do? 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 Oh yeah, my wife is an OnlyFans girl. They're gonna feel that from the other men, and they're gonna be like, yeah, bro, you're hurt, blah, whatever, whatever. But there's some men who are gonna be like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't give a shit.
that's hot.
And that's fine. And that's fine. But most men are not cool with that.
But I think
ask you
most
a
men are
question?
insecure.
What percent of men don't give a shit, would you say? Just by talking to men. And actually don't, because men will tell you things to get laid. Like, for
I'll say-
example, guys will be like, oh, 6 foot, like tall gingers are my type. Yeah, okay.
I'll
It's
give
like
you my
they just
standard
say things.
answer for any type of
Okay.
question like this.
Okay.
And it might be higher or lower. I always implement the 80-20 rule. That's with
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
80-20 rule. 80% of men are not going to be comfortable with this. There's going to be some exceptions, right? Some dudes that are just, hey, I'm down
Now,
for whatever.
What percent of the 20% would you say make enough money? Or be okay with it and make enough
Well,
money?
only 87% make over 100 grand anyway. Sorry, 13% make over 100 grand. So 87% are not going to be in your category anyway. So if you're just going to do quick math and you're going to say, all right, if there's 100 guys, 87 of them are out. Now, of those 13, okay, so 80% of that. So now, so 10 men are out. So you have 3 men out of 100 who make over 6 figures that may be willing to wife up an OnlyFans girl. Not saying it's not realistic. Unicorns do kind of exist at this point, but 3% of men would be cool with this. That's my number.
Okay.
What do you think?
No, I'd say you're right. Yeah.
That's it. Drop the mic. We're done here, guys. So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another, or if you want to watch the entire Soscast, click right here.